We all saw Yuji's impressive new binding vow technique, but let me tell you, that's child's play compared to the master himself, Sukuna. He's mastered the art of the binding vow, and somehow always manages to bend the rules in his favor. Today we're dissecting every single binding vow Sukuna's made so far. We'll explore what restrictions he imposed on himself and what he gained from each vow. Let's unravel the genius behind Sukuna's binding vows. So, Yuji's first binding vow? Well, that's not entirely accurate. His true first binding vow was with Sukuna himself. This is actually one of the earliest binding vows in JJK. Yuji and Sukuna's vow was crucial for the story to develop. When Yuji faced death early in the series, Sukuna promised he could heal him. In return, Sukuna would take control of Yuji's body for 1 minute when he said the word enchain. During this minute, Sukuna promised not to kill anyone, but Yuji would forget this vow ever existed. Yuji initially didn't want to accept, but he did. What did Sukuna do during that minute? He took control of Megumi's body. He had it all planned from the start. Yuji basically agreed to a one-sided handshake deal with a murderous curse user. Not his brightest moment. The second time Sukuna made a binding vow was against Gojo. Sukuna struggled to gain the upper hand and finish off Gojo. To bypass the activation conditions of his world-cutting dismantle and launch it at Gojo, Sukuna made a binding vow that further complicated its conditions for future uses. This required chanting incantations and directing the slash's trajectory with a third hand. Now that Sukuna has lost several arms, he can't use his world-cutting slash anymore. Still, a genius move in the moment, because without it, Gojo would probably still be alive. After Gojo, Sukuna faced many other opponents, each posing significant challenges. This forced him to change the hand sign for his domain activation. He needed another binding vow for that, his third. By changing his domain expansion's hand sign and applying cursed techniques and barrier techniques through a part of his brain undamaged by unlimited void, then including imprecise elements and improvised binding vows, Sukuna was able to activate Malevolent Shrine without any decrease in its range or output for 99 seconds. What's so impressive? He managed to cast his domain even though he had lost the use of his cursed technique. Only the King of Curses could come up with something so complicated. And he didn't stop there. Do you like Sukuna's flames? He made a vow related to them too. To supercharge his divine flame, Sukuna vowed not to use it on multiple opponents outside his domain. In return, his domain's technique is expanded, allowing him to imbue all pulverized matter within it with divine flame's explosive cursed energy. This turns dust particles into thermobaric explosives detonated when ignited by divine flame. To put it clearly, his domain turns into a burning volcano. Scary, right? No wonder Choso didn't survive that. You better not get trapped in Sukuna's domain. It's hard to decide which binding vow is the most impressive. Do you think Sukuna's reliance on binding vows will be his downfall someday? If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe for more wild Jujutsu Kaisen explorations.